I think it's time we mow the pasture. So when we bought this place, the pasture was already a little bit tall. The previous owners didn't want to get it cut, so it's up to me to cut it. I've been waiting a little bit for it to go dormant, that way I didn't have to cut it twice. The downside to that is it looks terrible. Before we get to mowing though, I'm going to change the oil in the tractor and service the mower. All right, now with the oil change in this little guy, we can move on to servicing the mower. Some way, somehow, this mower is missing a grease zerk. When I first got this mower, I know that there was 3. Some way it came loose and fell off. I just cleaned it out. I got me a grease zerk when I got that oil filter. Now I'm gonna attempt to fish it down in this hole, thread it, and then we can continue. I recently mowed down some sections of the property that are kind of by the creek, kind of hidden, full of brush, nasty sections. And this mower did phenomenal. I was blown away by how well it did. I've had some critics about this mower saying that my tractor won't handle it, it'll bog down, it'll be too much grass for the mower, yada yada. Well, this mower is technically a finish mower, so it has 3 blades underneath. So it doesn't take the amount of torque that it would to power one big blade. One last thing I want to do on this mower is I want to lower these tires down. I want to try to raise the deck up. So when I mowed a small section of our other field, I just used the controls on the tractor to keep the deck at a certain height. The problem with using the controls on the tractor and not the tires is when you go over any humps or bumps, the mower goes with the tractor. This mower is designed to just free ride behind the tractor so that it can roll with the ground while the tractor can do its own thing. This tire was giving me all kinds of issues. So I took it to the grinder, cleaned it up a little bit, and now it slides on perfect. All right, now with that all taken care of and the tractor and mower ready to work, let's head out to the field and get to mowing. The biggest problem with the little mower and the little tractor is that in this big field, it's gonna take forever. But that's all right, is what it is. So my plan is to mow north and south in this field, but I'm gonna make some relief passes going east and west. That way when I'm mowing north and south, if for some reason I get a bunch of grass buildup or something in the mower, when I go over that path, it can kind of dump that grass and release it before I go back into the thick stuff. Well, that relief cut works really, really well. Actually better than I thought it would. I don't really need it because the grass is pretty dry and the mower is cutting it very, very well. Well, I just have a small section left to do in the back side of the field here. And then there's another weird cutout over there that I'm gonna take care of. And then I can move on to the big section of the field. I kind of wish it was a little bit overcast or cloudy day or something because the sun beating on my face is pretty rough. When I farmed almonds before, I had a cab, never had to worry about the sun. It was fantastic. Turn up the air conditioner, just go. Here, I got the sun beating on my face. I got the heat of the tractor. So a cooler, overcast day would be awesome. Well, when I was mowing yesterday, this happened. I actually didn't notice it for quite a while. So this rim is pretty well trashed. I'm gonna try to throw it back on and just stretch it a little bit longer. I know it's probably not going to last long, but we'll get it on, we'll mow a little bit, and if we have to, we'll run to town and get a new tire. Dang it. Well, I guess I'm running to town sooner than I thought. I'm gonna check the other 3 and see how they are first. All right, well, the front 2 tires are pretty well trashed. That other one's about to fall off too. So I'm gonna take them off real quick. I'll run to town, grab some new ones. We'll be right back. Okay, I'm back with some new tires. What should have been about a 20-minute round trip turned into about an hour and 20-minute round trip. Our local farm and home store, whatever it's called, had these in stock for $35 a piece. So I went about 20 miles north and got them for under $10 a piece. Unfortunately, I can't just go throw these on the mower. I have a spacer in the old hubs or the old rims that I need to get out and put into these first. So I have another problem. So I have these bushings here that are supposed to go inside the bearings of these wheels. Unfortunately, these are just slightly too small, so they fall inside and get inside the hub of the wheel. In fact, I have one in there right now. I know that somewhere I had 2 extra of these and it would be perfect. I'd be able to put one in the middle of these 2 on the axle and nothing would be able to slide. Unfortunately, I have lost those. I cannot find them. I might have even thrown them away in the move. I don't know. So, plan B. Maybe I could weld it into place. Just a small tack. Should we try it? So I don't really want to weld these on. I want that to be last case scenario. So I'm going to try something else. I'm going to try to throw these in the vise at an angle and see if I can't just mess up one small section of one of these. That way it can't slide all the way in. But yet it could still get the axle, or the bolt in this case, in, and it could still be functional. So far that worked surprisingly well. Let's see how it does inside the wheel. Oh yeah. Absolutely perfect. Can you see? It's just slightly messed up right there. That way it can't slide in, but yet the axle can. Okay, I'm gonna do this to the rest of them and hope this works. So the old tires that I had on there were just solid rubber. These are pneumatic tires, so we'll see if there's any difference. See if these do any better or not. There's something over there in the creek. I can hear it moving around, but I can't see it yet. Okay, now that we got the tires fixed on the mower, I can get back to mowing. So when I was out here yesterday, I was mowing north and south, and I got to this section where there's this strange like levee deal right here that kind of follows the creek. Well, when I try to make a turn on it, the tractor goes up on it and it gets sideways, and then I don't run this thing in 4-wheel drive when I'm mowing, so it would like get kind of light on a tire, and then the tire would spin. It turned into this kind of weird ordeal. So I'm gonna mow east and west along this levee first, and then I'll go back to north and south. I was hoping today was gonna be overcast, but it's not. It's actually hotter than it was yesterday. There is a bit of a breeze though, so I don't get so much of the heat from the tractor like I do when there's no breeze. I'm very glad I did that going east and west, because right behind where the tractor is, it gets steep, and I hate the feeling of tipping. I don't mind going back, but I hate the feeling of tipping side to side. I just don't like it at all. I was gonna go back north and south over here, but I kind of like being over here. The sun is directly to the south of me, so it will only be on my sides, not directly in my face. So I think I'm gonna head east and west for a while, and then maybe I'll move back over here and go north and south. Well, I was out mowing, everything was going really good, and then I saw this little engine light with an EM in the center of it illuminated. I checked my temperature and my temperature was reading a little bit high. It was about 3/4 on the gauge, which I figure is not bad. But I Googled it while I was mowing, and it does say that that light will illuminate when it's a little warm. It's kind of a warning light, if you will. So I brought it over here and I thought, I'll blow out the radiator, I'll check the air filter, I'll do a little maintenance. When I parked it, I heard a different rattle coming from the transmission. So while it was running, I pulled the dipstick and there's no oil on the dipstick to the transmission. So that might be a small part of my problem. So I'm going to address that. I'm gonna clean out the radiator. I'm probably done for the day mowing, but I'll get everything ready to go for tomorrow. So after checking the dipstick a little closer, there's a little bit of oil in there, but it's definitely not where it's supposed to be. I hardly ever use this tractor. I really only use it around the yard, occasionally building the kids a bike jump or unloading stuff off my trailer, or if I gotta move brush off of the yard or something, I don't know. It doesn't get used extensively like it's being used mowing this field. So I'm not surprised things like this come up. I should be better about my maintenance on the tractor. I'm really good about maintenance on my truck. But honestly, I don't know. It keeps running, it keeps working. It is what it is. I'll be better from here on out. I was thinking about this oil being low while I was driving to town. And I remembered that I had a hydraulic leak up on the bucket a while ago before we moved. And I was able to fix the leak just by tightening it actually. And I thought, oh, I'll address the oil after we move. Well, it's been a little while since we've moved, and yeah, I completely forgot about it. So here we are, adding oil. I guess technically it's hydraulic and transmission fluid. All right, well, with that finally topped off, the radiator and the front of the motor finally cleaned up, we should be in a better position tomorrow. It is an absolutely beautiful morning this morning. We had a little bit of rain last night, which kind of poses two problems. The grass might be a little wet and the tractor seat is wet. So I need to dry that off first and we'll head out and get to mowing. It feels really nice to get out nice and early and get some tractor work done. It kind of takes me back to the days of farming almonds. And I was thinking while I was mowing out there, I was thinking, I really enjoy this. I like just going back and forth. I know it seems weird, but I guess maybe I've done it for so long that it's like a comfort for me. But I was also thinking that there's two things I do that kind of entertain me. For one, I listen to podcasts. The second thing, which is kind of dumb but kind of fun, is I try to make the straightest, nicest lines I can. It reminds me, I used to run a big laser, like a big 8-wheeled tractor with a 15-yard sled behind it, and I had a heck of a time getting straight lines in the field. And my coworker at the time, he taught me that if you look as far as you can see and find a point, find a tree, a house, a certain limb, anything, look as far as you can, find that thing, and drive straight to it. And your lines will be perfectly straight from there on out. So what I like to do is find my point, make my straight lines, and then try to keep them as straight as possible, as long as possible. And it's inevitable that I'll get a curve, or I'll check my phone or change the podcast or something, and I'll get some snake line, and then I gotta fix it. So then the challenge starts over. Make that straight line again, and then try to carry it on as long as possible. So, I don't know, dumb things to keep me entertained. It's super fun watching the dog jump around. There's a bunch of rats out here and he keeps going after the rats. Well, that's it for this section of the field. From here on out, it should go a lot faster because it starts to get thinner and smaller as we get closer to the road or closer to the house. I'm gonna go eat some breakfast. I think that's it for today. I'll see you tomorrow. Just my luck, the day I finish is the day it's overcast, it's breezy, it's cool. I finally got this all mowed and it looks absolutely amazing. It really, really makes me want to have cows out here even more than I did before, which is really bad. I really want cows out here. With the cows chomping on the grass, I won't have to do any more mowing, and that would be really nice. I gotta mention real quick that these new tires I threw on here are absolutely trashed. I know that this mower is not meant for long, heavy, thick grass like this, and I'm not surprised that the tires took a beating. I'll get those fixed, and from here on out, I probably won't be mowing thick stuff like this. But with that being said, it worked really, really well. It mowed this whole field, and it did a really good job. Well, that's it for this one. If you made it this far, I really appreciate it, and hope to see you on the next one.